love, fear, failure, success, and finally, survival. I've been through them all and came out stronger and healthier. Yeah, I went to a dark place, but talking about it pulled me out. My name is Sandy Cross, and this is Cross Conversations.
Well, hey, everybody. We are back again for another conversation, another episode of Cross Conversations. I am Shantae Says. Hello, Sandy.
Hi, Shantae. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful.
Look at you with that teeth. I can't get over it. I love it. The hair, the teeth, that sultry glow.
Because I drink a lot of water.
120 ounces.
120 ounces, baby. Yes.
That's a new turn on.
It is.
Yes. You know, you just glow. You know what it is? It's water.
It's water. H2O.
Well, I live with my glow.
Okay.
I mean, I live with it. I'm used to it. I don't know if it's 120 or 240 or whatever, but if I don't drink at least a gallon of water every day, you see it on my face the next day, or I feel it in my body the next day, honestly.
Okay. So I see we have our guest returning again. I see this is big. It's coming back. Soon. It
Not
must be
once,
the water.
but
It's the water.
twice.
I know, Edouard. It's the water. Because he knows I drink a lot of water, so he had to come back.
Exactly.
I love
Just
it.
to make sure
You know, he
Make sure you're
does
keeping up with
virtual
it.
training also.
Oh, okay. I might have
How did that come up? I don't know. I'm just like, I want to promote him because he's done such a great job for me.
I love it. I love it. So as always, I did my homework, and you said that you would like to talk about casual dating.
Sometimes, Shantae, when you're talking, I just, your voice, your tone of your voice, it just sucks me. It's like, today we're talking about casual dating. And I'm just like, yes, we are. I just wish I could respond like you do, but I'm like,
You're so funny.
but
You're
my
so
voice
funny.
is raspy, so.
Your voice is raspy. No, people used to make fun of my voice. They said I sound like one of those phone sex operators. So
They're correct.
they're correct. Okay.
Yeah, I was asked. I actually did that for about.
operator.
I actually did that for about 10 minutes when I was 20 years old.
You were
and
girl 6.
I don't know what number I was. It was like for 20 minutes. It was only for a couple of days, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it anymore.
Wow. Now,
Because somebody told me I had a great voice, and you'd sound really good doing this, and I'm just like, okay, let me try. Because my friend tried it, and I'm not gonna lie, I tried for like 2 days, and I was just like, this is not for me. I can't say these things.
was the pay good? Because no, that's okay.
I've never worked for money.
Okay. All right. Well, look, I've never done the phone thing. I have done some of those special adult toy commercials. Yeah.
So that's different.
I don't want to say the brand names because, they're not giving us any money on this episode. So
That's
I don't wanna
right.
do that.
Good call.
Very good. So, but look, let me get back to, so we're talking about casual dating, and I just have to do a disclaimer because the knowledge that I have on this is based on observation and very dated experience because I've been married for 8 years now. So,
Girl,
but-
it's not dated. It's just information that that some people don't. Or I'm just learning about stuff because I'm single again for the first time in like 8
Right.
years. And and I'm trying to learn stuff, and somehow I think I need to get back into college about it.
Oh, well, yeah. So like I said, so my experience is based on observation. I talk to a lot of different people, the different generations,
Yeah.
so I picked up a lot. As I said in one of my little sets, I said, I have a lot of experience on dating and stuff, and I've been taking notes for 30 years. So I'm an analyst. So why did you want to talk about this other than you feeling like you need to go to college for it?
Well, honestly, like I said, I'm just entering the dating scene again, and I'm just like, well, what are the rules? I mean, because I see so many things, and people have so many expectations, and then I was just like, you know what, Sam, you've never casually dated. I've never been a casual dater. I was, I meet you, we're in a relationship. We live together. I get married, have kids, get divorced. I'm single. Had my play area.
Oh yeah.
And then, I'm now suddenly single. And that's a thing, right? So I didn't know about dating. And obviously now that it's been a couple of years since my partner passed, I went out a few weeks ago and I'm like, okay, so now I'm going out as a single person for the first time in 9 years. And I went out and it was fun, but I literally felt like I had to hide behind my friends. When you're dancing on the dance floor, people are, coming next to you and want to touch you. I hate being touched. One guy actually turned around, told me I had a nice smile with my white teeth, and then proceeded to try to touch my breast. And this is not in a bad place either. It's supposed to be one of the nicer places. And I'm doing that air quote. But then I'm just like, if I'm going to go out with someone, what are the expectations? Like, people ask you out and, I'm just like, well, I knew you before, so it's a little different now. You know what I mean? It's just so weird. So I don't know what's casual dating. I don't know what's, oh, you're my boyfriend, or none of that stuff. And I have zero interest. But, and there's a big but. Like I said, I have never just been like, I'm going to date you, 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 I'm going to date you. And then when women do it, we kind of get called hoes and stuff. And then when men do it, he's just dating. He's just being, not even necessarily a player, but just dating, playing the field. So what makes it a little different for us?
Well, Edouard, you work with a lot of women, right? Mm-hmm. And I know you sound like me as far as you probably collected a lot of insight. What are your thoughts on this topic?
A tremendous amount. So I think that there's, and this is not just with what Sandy's asking and right. what she may be thinking. I'm not in her head, so I don't know exactly what she's thinking.
That's a scary thing.
I think that there's like a contradiction with the term casual dating. Mm-hmm. Casual dating. It's like, when you think of it, it should just be calm, relaxed. You're going to meet somebody, hang out with them for the first time, and I think that there's a contradiction insofar as when people go on a casual date for the first time, are you really being that casual? Are you really being that relaxed? Or are you trying to present your absolute best self? And I mean, I've seen it and I've known about it and we've experienced it, and perhaps we ourselves have done it, where we're trying to present the pinnacle of who we are, mm-hmm. and which is nobody's at their pinnacle 24/7. So I think that, I'm not a dating guru by any means, but my first recommendation would be, if it's casual dating, live up to the term. Just calm down. Don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about saying the exact this or whatever that. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. It's kind of like, if I could just do a small little parallel, a lot of times when I have people do certain, like as a trainer, balance work, and I put them on a particular piece of equipment, and I'm like, hey, and they're trying to find their perfect footing on this ball to stand on. It literally doesn't exist. So I'm like, you just got to like kind of soften up, mm-hmm. and just start to find your balance within that imperfection that you're already standing on right then and there. So it's like, you just kind of have to truly be casual. That's my first thought. And when you're conversing, and don't worry about telling them one great thing about yourself after another.
Oh, I hate that.
Don't do that. But don't do that. But then, and this is not something that I came up with by any means, but I would agree with it 100%. Whether it's the man doing this with a woman, or the woman doing it to the man, or the man to the man, to the woman to the woman, whatever, is that do not go in and start talking about your past relationship and what didn't work or what did work, and don't just keep it over there.
Even when they ask, right? You kind of avoid it. You're like, you know what? We just didn't work well together, and that's it.
And
why do people ask you that though? It's like, why do you ask?
Because it's built in.
It's built in, and If you're an analyst like me, I'm thinking about trends and stuff. So if you tell me that you had an issue with your partner and they did X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, well, shoot, they're going to really not like me because I'm just like that. It's almost like, for me, it was data. Because I'm like, if you treated this person that way because they did whatever they did to you, how are you going to treat me any differently? So I used to pay attention to how they ended their relationship, what they thought about their past relationships, how they think about their mother, and father. Like, I looked at all that stuff to kind of try to assess a person. It didn't work all the time, but
some of that makes perfect sense. If I'm communicating and if for whatever reason we start talking about family and things like that, of course regardless of what type of human being you are, I think that we can all agree universally. We want to know that the person that, even if it's just a friend, right, that your friend treats their parents with respect and
Absolutely.
Takes care of them.
Exactly.
And, hey, I mean,
Absolutely.
that goes without saying. But then all that other stuff, you just kind of got to keep it to the side. And if it's casual dating, be casual. Allow some of your natural flaws to come
right.
out. Given that those flaws aren't even really flaws in the first place.
Right.
So this is really good for me, you guys, because like I said, I never dated. Like when I was younger, I didn't date. I didn't know what that was. I didn't even start dating until after, divorce. And even with that, I went down a road of, okay, I wanted to be useful and kind of just like learn what it was like to date. Right. So that was fun. But I didn't start dating until, I was older with my partner. And then that was a whole different kind of dating. It's like, okay, you're nice. We both have our baggage. We both divorced. We both had kids. So we were kind of equally yoked in that sense. Now I find myself back out on the marketplace. And it's, before I cared up, this is going to sound so bad. Before I cared about, I'm wearing the right dress, I'm wearing the right shoes, I'm wearing the right this, my booty looks good, my tits are perked. Spend a fortune on bras and what are those? Not girdles, but the things that snatch you.
Oh, the shaper. Oh, yeah.
The shaper, they snatch my ass, pull it in, suck it in, all that
I'm
shit.
getting some money. Thank you.
No,
$20.
ass is an anatomy. That's an anatomy. It's an animal. So no, you can't give me money. I can't give you money for
Not
that.
the way you used it, but okay.
But I am, how do I put this? I'm going to just be straight up.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for that. All I want is someone that's going to really be my plus one when I need somebody to go out. Also, it's anatomy. It's physical.
So, okay. I'm all for you don't have to do all the stuff that you did. But I do believe if you look good to yourself, at least, you feel good, you will be received that way.
Well, I guess you know what? Thank you for saying that too, because right now I'm just like, listen, I'm working hard to get just not physically, mentally strong, but physically strong.
Right.
And yeah, I'm happy with who I am. Whether I'm 300 pounds or 140 pounds, I am happy with who I am as a human being, looking at myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I am being looked at kind of differently than I did before. People are just like, oh, you look so good, you're so happy. And part of that is, yeah, I have lost, quite a bit of weight. But I'm also at the point in my life where, listen, there are needs and there are needs, period. And if you're an adult or I'm an adult and we can agree that these are needs, then we're good.
Right. If
you're looking for somebody that's going to, want to get married, any of that stuff, right now, no, that's not me. Mm-hmm. But when you're a woman saying that to a guy, I actually had a guy tell me that, yo, you're operating like a dude. And he said it just like that. Yo, you're operating like a dude. I'm like, no, I want easy.
Yeah.
He just projected his insecurities onto you.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that.
Exactly.
It's so wrong, though.
Everybody, women are more feminine naturally, but they have some masculinity in them. literally the hormones. Men are more masculine. They got some femininity in us. Literally the hormones are in there. So if he says that he's projecting insecurities, there's 8 billion people on the planet. Talk to the next one.
Exactly. I'm all for that, because here's the deal. If you're upfront with a person, I think it's great to know that, hey, I'm not looking for marriage. Okay, cool. This person may be looking for marriage. They need to move on because it's not a possibility. You lay it out there up early. Because I think I remember I reached a point where I was like, I'm not dating for fun anymore.
So
no, and that is fair. That is fair. I'm not dating for fun anymore. I'm looking for a relationship. That's fair. And I know I am a relationship person. Mm-hmm. So, but I also know I've never had this part either. I have never had I'm just going to casually date you. And, if you're fun, we can hang out. And then if not, then this other person, I could date him. I'm not having sex with a bunch of people. I'm really literally just trying to learn how to engage.
Yeah. So Sandy, I know you very well, and you're naturally the life of the party. You like to dance. You love being literally in the middle of the dance floor. But I would, and I'm not telling you not to go to those places to have a good time. Do it as much as you want. Right. But going back to what you said when we first started talking about casual dating and men on the dance floor and checking you out and groping this and whatever that, like that's and especially where you're at, that I don't think you're gonna find what you're looking for right there in the middle of that dance floor and under those circumstances.
I'm not looking for anything like that. And I don't really. I mean, I shoot pool, I throw darts, the music comes on, my body moves. This is kind of like
Caribbean.
Right. Maybe that's it too. But whenever I go out, I never go out with the mindset of, I'm going to find someone or I'm looking for someone. When I go out, I'm going out with my friends.
Well, that's usually how it happens though. Because when you're looking forward, you're going to find something, but it may not be what you're looking for. So
that's true.
But I do remember why you wanted me to talk with you about this, because I mentioned something about, I discovered there's different levels to this stuff.
Yes.
Right? The terminology now. And I may get this wrong. So if any of our listeners can just correct me and send a message in, that's great. But
you should be with this.
There's this thing where I hear of, so let's say this, two people are going out, they go out to dinner and stuff like that. And I'll say, hey, what's going on with you guys? Are you guys together? No. We're just talking. I said, oh, you're just talking, but you went on a date. No? Okay. So I said, well, when are you dating? You're dating when I guess it gets a little bit more serious than the talking. Now, the tricky part about the dating phase is you can be dating multiple people. Now, I don't know.
So you're not dating.
Yeah, right. And I don't know what the level is between that and engagement. I don't know, but I just know that talking is not dating. Even though they go on dates. It's weird.
And then so dating is not really your girlfriend.
It depends on who you talk to, I guess. I mean, you could talk to 10 people and they may all have a different definition, but I've seen the case where they're like, oh yeah, I'm dating, this guy, and this guy. And as far as like the casual dating, not necessarily having sex with them, but they have some sort of relationship, some sort of understanding with them. I remember kind of being like this. We have a friend that talks about her spreadsheet, and I remember, we have a mutual friend. If she's listening, she's gonna know. And I remember the concept. It was similar to what you have different people that you talk to, different guys for me at the time.
The spreadsheet, dang, you forgot about that. Yeah.
But for me, what I noticed is each of them had different if I could put 5 of them together, they would be perfect. Like one person you could talk to about anything. The other person loved to go out and go places. The other person loved to travel. And I was like, if I could just take you all and mash you all together, it would be perfect.
And then she did.
Yes, she did. I think I got my 80% at least with mine because, he rides motorcycles. And
Do you know, they said,
but don't you?
It's been reported, really and truly, that most women, not men, but then somebody's changed it to people. But then I'm like, I can't say people. I say we have 80% of what we want in our partners and whoever we're with. Most of us have 80%. But what people tend to do is they go looking for that 20% that's missing.
Yeah.
So if I could ask
Yeah.
this, because when I'm listening to you two, I have to remind, because from my male perspective,
Yes.
for me, my attitude is to cut through a lot and to simplify.
Yes.
And even though that's how my mind works and it would make sense to me, I don't want to just basically suggest these things so as to push aside the questions you're asking and how you do spreadsheet, et cetera. But the one thing that I'll say is, you're talking about, I got my 80%, or if I could have these 5 things, but is there any part of you when you're meeting somebody, and even if you're still doing these numbers and those percentages, have you ever taken into consideration the idea that when you're looking at this person as a potential future a long-term partner, that even if they meet whatever the number is and it's below what you want it to be, do you ever look at them and think, okay, when I'm with them, then instead of seeing these numbers, I recognize there's so much potential that they're open-minded and willing to change, that they can turn into my 100%, instead of going into that relationship and immediately saying, I'm going to go into this relationship because you're this. Like, do you see what I'm asking you?
I do, but I'll tell you this. My 20 is superficial stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for instance, he's going to hate that I said this, but I used to love tall men. My husband is my height. So therefore, he can't aspire his potential.
Well, okay. So
I just had to add humor, but I understand. No, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Right. Okay, but from all the other things, the ways in
Yes.
which he can,
Yes.
like financially,
absolutely.
or maybe he or she is someone who has traveled, but they've only traveled domestically.
Yeah.
So maybe they're apprehensive, but then if they're with the other person who starts to kind of warm them up to the idea and say, I've been here,
Yes.
or literally teaches them some stuff, or hey, let's watch this film on this whatever.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they start to loosen up. And then boom, all of a sudden now they are your worldly traveling partner.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm not telling anybody how to live their life. I just know, and speaking from personal experience, I'm talking about myself
Right.
too. And I have other guy friends who, believe it or not, some people think that human beings, like once they reach a certain whatever, it's like, okay, this person is molded and this is what they are. They're hardened, they're baked, they're not changing.
Right.
I'm a, call me naive or a dreamer or delusional or whatever, but I still believe that there's a whole lot of human beings out there that are capable of continuing to change and grow and evolve until their final breath.
Yeah.
I think
So,
I'm one of those human beings.
Well,
I honestly think so, because my partner, he was one of those human beings, because I know he did not like to travel. He did not like to do this. He did not like to do that. But as I started doing those things and he wanted to be part of my life and part of those things, he did start to travel. He did start to do those things that were uncomfortable for him. And yes, I went to places that were uncomfortable for me, because it's give and take. But before you can get to that space, you have to get to know a person, right? And for me, getting to know a person is like, okay, well, if I'm casual dating, does that mean that you can come to my house for dinner, or I'll go to your house for dinner? Does that mean you go into each other's personal space like that? That's the thing. I don't know rules. I don't know what the rules of engagement are.
I feel like I feel like casual dating on both ends, or whatever, or same sex relationships, couple, whatever you picture you want to paint.
Right.
I feel like a lot of it would be so much more fluid, and would work a lot better, and people would end up linking up with who they ideally should be with, if you just kind of allow for your loose ends or whatever, your flaws, if that's what you're called, just allow it to just kind of just be there. That doesn't mean, going back to what you said, Shantae, like I agree with you. When you go out, it's like, hey, you want to look good, you want to feel good. Yeah, do whatever. Absolutely. But also, just, I feel like if people just, it's because it's so, anybody can date anybody when you're just dating all the and seeing and experiencing all the perfect points. You can take so many different human beings and put them together, and if they're just living off of each other's perfect points, well, then why would there be any falling apart in the first place? So it's the true test, and then finding out about growth, about failure, and all these things once you kind of start to work with the shortcomings. So I just feel like in some way, shape, or form, without knowing exactly how to explain it, it would be cool if people just kind of let that just play into it much more.
And some people probably do, right? But dating exclusively is the time you do learn about these flaws and if you can deal with it or not, right? It's like, oh my gosh, he doesn't throw his underwear in the hamper ever. Oh yeah, I can live with that. You know what I mean? Like it's you learn those things, but then there's some things that's deal breakers. You're like, this person they don't believe in something, and that's going to be difficult in my relationship.
That is actually a very good point. To your point, the excitement of and to yours too, Shantae, just if I'm just like, okay, you know what? I'm looking forward to this date. This makes me happy, or whatever the case may be. I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't had anybody that that's asked me out that I'm like, oh, I'm so excited about.
Butterflies.
And yeah, and in those instances where I am kind of like, okay, well, I've been out with people, I had fun, had a good time, but nobody that I would look at and say, okay, this is, I'll be interested in dating this person. And the couple of people who have just been like side-eye, like, oh, I'm too shy to even say anything. I can't say anything. I can't look at you or talk to you that way. Because it's just, I don't know, I feel weird. I'm weird about it, So, so I just sit in my corner, and then I have had friends who are like, hey, Sandy, remember she was with, Dawn, but she's single now. I've had a couple of people do that.
I'm like, wingman.
I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't pick me. Don't do that. But it's kind of like funny to them. They're like, come on, you got to start doing it. You got to start somewhere. You said you wanted to start going out. I'm like, yeah, but it's like pity. I have pity on Sandy. Go out with her? No, thank you. But I'm getting my groove back. Actually, Sandy's getting her groove back, because there are times when I'm just like, I'm not going to wear this. Oh, yeah, I am. Yes, I'm going to wear that. Get out of your head. It looks good and blah, blah, blah. Or, wow, Sandra, if you wear that, you're going to start some wars wherever you are because of that booty. Whatever the case may be, right? Being honest. But as far as just getting to know people, and you're going on a date, and then you're going on another date, and then you're going on another date with other people or together, it's new to me, and I'm gonna have to start taking lessons and notes from you guys about how to proceed.
Okay. I'll be glad to share.
Thank you.
Any other final thoughts as we wrap up this conversation about casual dating? Did you get what you needed, Sandy?
Actually, I definitely did. I got some pointers, and now I know what not to do.
And Edouard, what kind of motivation and encouragement can you give our girl here?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Me?
You're the trainer. I got to hear how you pep talk her.
I mean, it's good to think about these things, but ultimately, it's like I say, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Don't worry about it being perfect. consistency is.
Oh my God.
Hold on. Consistency is two things. Consistency is one, it's key, and it's free.
Oh.
Okay? It's those two things. So you go out, and even if you go on a date, and I mean, it's the worst experience, not because they did something, because you're just not in it. It's okay. You go home, you wake up, the sun is up the next day, you move on.
And then you feel bad. It's like, oof.
There's that's okay. You process that and you keep moving forward. But as I reminded you, it's like there's billions of people on this planet.
Yes, there are.
Literally billions.
So I heard consistency is key and it is free.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what he says to me in training. Consistency is key, Sandy. And but he never said the part about being free, because he's not.
He's not free. No, but your consistency is free.
No, I'm only
Thank
teasing.
you.
Your consistency is free.
Your consistency is free.
I know, I'm only teasing.
Think about the times you have done stuff that you've learned from me on your own, on your own accord.
Yeah,
you
that's
just went and did it. It was free.
It is,
and you
definitely.
felt good about it.
Definitely.
And then you were doing it at another gym, and then some girl half your age couldn't do what you could do.
know.
Or people were asking you questions.
So can you do
Remember that?
burpees? Because I hate burpees. Can you do burpees?
We don't. We don't. She can, but we don't do them.
Oh, I like that. Then I might hire you myself because I hate burpees.
Yeah, no,
It's not because I hate them. It's just that
The
we're
worst-
just weird.
One little tiny thing I'll say is the worst exercise that a trainer can give a client is the one they hate the most, even if you know it's the best for them.
My kind of
Simple
man.
as that.
I love it.
Yeah, I love him too. I mean, it really is. It is. But consistency is key. I guess it travels all over your life.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's a word. Okay.
That's a
Well,
word.
I like it. I like it.
Consistency is free, and consistency is free.
No, consistency is key.
Key.
And consistency is free.
That's what I said.
She'll get it right one day, Edouard. She'll get it right. All right. Well, on that note, I look forward to another conversation. I have to look over my notes to see what we're talking about, but I look forward to rejoining you and seeing you again one day, Edouard. So thank you.
Maybe we'll get a little group thing going remote so that you can join.
Okay.
That'd be fun.
Maybe. That'll be great.
Thank you so much for joining again. We appreciate you. And until next time.
Until next time.
All right. Take care, ladies. Take care.
Take it easy. Bye.